The interview you are about to see includes highlights from the 2003-2004 academic year and features Dan Whalen, Chair of the Board of Regents and member of the class of 1970, and Brother Dietrich Reinhardt, President of the university since 1991 and member of the class of 1971.
Every year, a highlight for me is welcoming the new students and knowing that 4 years after that I'm going to be giving them their degrees. And so President's Banquet a year ago, there were about 500 freshmen that came in. I shook everyone's hands. Every person's different, but I got to tell you, there was a lot of nervousness in that group, wondering what college is going to be like, what's this thing about St. John's. Then in April, I went to the senior banquet, same room, but I was the guest and not the host. And I can't get a word in edgewise because their energy level is high, their love for one another is strong, and their sense of how they can make a difference in their life is really palpable. And so when we got to graduation last May and all the bells are ringing, I was so proud of those guys. And that was really moving. And of course, seeing as always a graduation, those men and women getting their master's degrees in theology to serve the church. Well, a remarkable thing for us last year was the added emphasis on international education in the curriculum. Key part was the sending of a group of faculty members to Bosnia, who, as you know, we've got a dozen and a half students from Bosnia that enrich our campus immeasurably. And to have faculty members go and study for a couple weeks in that culture and talk to Serbs and Croats and Muslims and understand what it is for them to make a difference in the world. And then to come back and enrich their own teaching with that is of great importance. We also sent a study trip to China, to South China, to look at the economic, cultural issues. Professor Richard Bohr led the group. Regent Canning Fok in Hong Kong helped to arrange so many important contacts. And these students had a bird's eye view of a rapidly transforming culture and economy that's really was breathtaking. We also started our first study abroad program in Japan, which brings us to 15 different programs that we have. Our Men's Center for Leadership and Service won the Outstanding Men's Program of the Year award from the American College Personnel Association. And we're not unfamiliar to them because the year before our men's spirituality groups won the Outstanding Men's Program Award of the Year. We also established the Don McNeely Center for Entrepreneurship and appointed Terry Barrero as its first director, an effort to try and galvanize our faculty and students to be more intentional about something that Johnnies are always known for, which is starting things and making a difference in business and in church and society. So I think it was just a great year. The School of Theology, which is preparing people for ministry, also took time to have a summit for leaders throughout central Minnesota on diversity issues. They also offered for probably the fifth summer a program for people, youths in parishes called YTM, which brought about 40 high school juniors to campus. And they designed a service program together while they were praying together and studying liturgy. So I think it was just a remarkable year for us. And I suppose the other part, Dan was saying about how all these graduates, each one has a story. Well, 41 of those students did honors theses last year. Each one of them went above and beyond and really grappled with something that they had to put together in a new way. And as the summer began, 53 of our continuing students stayed on to do undergraduate research all summer. That's a phenomenal component within our curriculum, and I think we're going to find that emphasis growing in the years to come.
Well, it was a record year for fundraising in just about every category. The largest number of donors, the biggest annual fund ever, the largest total in gifts and pledges to the Abbey and the university, the largest gift by an individual ever. So records broken every place. $32 million in total to the Abbey and university. A $10 million gift from the Sexton family, an amazing gift. a $3.5 million gift from the Sloggy family, $2 million gifts, one from the Fry family, the other from Frank and Julie Ladner. Almost 10,000 individual donors, over $2 million in annual fund.
Well, the Abbey Guest House is a project of fundamental importance to the service of St. John's, because it allows for people to come together for renewal and refreshment, and to, as Abbot John calls it, it's a monastery for lay people, a place where, if truth be told, the monks will derive strength from being near the dedicated and generous people who already come to St. John's, but we can't accommodate them. And I think the capacity of St. John's to be a vital Benedictine place, that capacity relies on community being renewed at every turn. So we're going to be able to be a place where alumni can come back. Or not just a football game, or not just a walk in the woods, but a chance to sit and pray and to visit with their professors and to breathe some of the air that they've already made holy by their lives there. I would say for me, kind of a highlight of a lifetime was meeting the Pope for 18 seconds. And going with about 80 people from St. John's, Abbot John, and Donald and Mabel Jackson, the calligrapher of the St. John's Bible, and to present a facsimile of the first volume at an audience for 30,000 people. And I think the St. John's Bible is such an exciting project. We were featured in Minnesota and then throughout the country last winter, the BBC Wales documentary on the St. John's Bible. An important thing for me is the activities of the Hill Monastic Manuscript Library to preserve endangered cultural resources. And we started a whole new chapter in that this past year by starting to film manuscripts in Lebanon and Syria that go right back to the earliest days of Christianity. And I was privileged to visit with board leaders going to Beirut and Damascus in late June. And I just had a sense of people who are, on one level, living on the edge. On the other level, knowing when you're on the edge, you better have a sense of who you are. Mm-hmm. And I think the capacity of our filming of ancient manuscripts to help us all know who we are is something that really caught my breath in that. This last year also, it had a sad turn. Brother Frank Ismarsik died, who gave us this fabulous collection of rare books and art about Arca Artium, gave that to us about 10 years ago. Frank was a giant. The likes of him we're not going to see again. But through his collection, we can aspire to a deeper awareness of all of the creative processes that go into shaping a life lived with dignity and integrity. And, well, that's part of the whole thing about legacy, where you pass things on to other people.
Now, the highlight for me in arts and culture was seeing the Book of Psalms, which marked the midpoint of the completion of the Bible. And when it came to Minnesota last April, I was lucky enough to have time to be in the room with it, and to be, with Donald Jackson, the calligrapher, and to talk to him and see it up close. It's really special, and it was a brilliant idea, and it's brilliantly executed. Well, I suppose the biggest highlight has to be with the football team and Coach John Ghilardi. First, the coach won his 409th game to break the record for the most games ever won by a collegiate coach in the United States, and he's gone on to pass that. The Johnny football team also won the conference and made it to the championship game and beat the reigning giant of Division III football in an exciting game, and they became national champs themselves. And of course, John Ghilardi got honored by the President of the United States, which is quite quite a big deal.
Well, all I know is when I became president, I asked John Ghilardi in August when rehearsals began. And he said, brother, we know that in the competition for the presidency, they didn't look at athletic knowledge. But I got to tell you, the number of students at St. John's who are in track and cross country, swimming, wrestling, basketball, baseball, you just go through all the sports. These guys have grades as good as or better than the student body at large. And they're real leaders on campus. And I think what I love the most about the football team is that, well, the team's so big, and the coaching staff is not very large at all. So the seniors and the juniors mentor the freshmen and sophomores. So there's something about building community, leadership, caring for the whole that's part of the athletic tradition at St. John's. And it's a really wondrous thing on campus.
And of course, the hockey team won the MIAC championship. That's amazing. This is a tough state to win a hockey championship in. It's very popular. The track and field team did very well, placed third. The Nordic ski team finished third place in the MIAC. You know, it's all around a great year. And you know, the proportion of students at St. John's who are active physically is extraordinarily high. Many of them are involved in you know, collegiate athletics, intercollegiate athletics, but almost everybody participates in one or more intramural sports. And so I think they've found a place where they can educate their mind, help the spirit grow, and also be aware of and take care of their body.
St. John's and College of St. Benedict are poised to be recognized for the academic excellence that's always been part of our character. And right now we are working with the faculty to, in an ever greater focus, strengthen the liberal arts character of the education we offer. You always got to renew your basic educational commitments. And we're working really hard on the academic ethos on campus, how to help our students become more actively involved outside of the classroom in shaping what they're studying and its importance in their own lives. So we're going to see a growth, I think, of students involved in service learning, undergraduate research, internships, international education. I think we are premier Catholic liberal arts colleges. And I think that the quality of the education we offer as a college for men, a college for women, educating men and women together is remarkable within America. I also think that the commitment we have to education and community, shaped by long-standing Benedictine practices of building community, and kind of a Catholic commitment to always expand the tent and make room for new people, is going to bode us well in the years ahead.
The future of St. John's depends on us increasing our support for the academic programs and financial aid for the students. So I see that the capital campaign in the next few years is going to focus very, very directly on increasing the amount of money we have to provide for scholarships for the bright and the needy students that we need to attract, recognizing that the character and composition of students in the future is going to be markedly different than what we've experienced in the past. They're not going to come from the same places. They're not going to look the same. In fact, it may be, in a way, going back to the roots of St. John's, to serving more of those who are immigrants or near immigrants, and where going to college or university is a first-time experience in their family for the students who will be coming here. In order to do that, we're going to have to attract and retain faculty who know how to work with those students, who are interested in dealing with those students. And we're also going to have to, at the same time, increase the strength of our academic programs, and that means supporting our faculty. That means paying them more, paying them better, making sure they have the resources to do the research that fuels their capacity to teach well. It's going to mean providing funds for them to be active in the community and support the community, not just on campus but off campus as well.
Well, when I think of an education, I think of someone taking huge risks to stretch and grow and deepen their awareness of life. And that hard work is only possible because others believe in you before that. So for me, one of the things that I always think of is all the people pulling for our undergraduate students and our graduate students. At beginning of each school year, when the parents drop off the freshman students, we end with a Mass on that first day, and Mom and Dad go home after that. And at the end of the Mass, the parents put their hands on their son's shoulder and give him a blessing. Well, the next day, when I'm visiting with the freshmen and then have the President's Banquet, I remind them that there are people who make their lives possible, who pulled for them before they could even pronounce their own name. And then I mention that for all the stretching they're doing and sacrificing to go to St. John's, that there are benefactors they've never even met who make it possible for St. John's to exist. Fully 1/3 of their educational costs are borne by gifts each year, and not tuition, and not government gifts or grants. And so I guess what I'd want to say to our benefactors is that St. John's mission of renewing the fabric of community, one generation to the next, is only possible because of them. We strive always for excellence. We're grounded in Benedictine tradition, but we're animated by the generosity and faith that our benefactors have in us. And without that, it'd be a pretty dim future. With it, everything is possible.